first, we do take a look at the headlines.
New attack on motorists. Police warns Ugandans.
23rd of April 22.
We are not behind soliciting money for Muslim prisoners.
A very good evening and a warm welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for being on Smart 24 television. It is a Monday, the 25th day of April 2022. It has been kind of chilly, but we thank God that we are there. You're welcome to the business today on Smart 24 television, where we are driving business. My name is Kevin Nandera. Now we do start with the youth in Busoga who have been urged to engage more in skilling projects as a way of creating jobs to improve on their income. His Majesty William Gabulana Diop IV E7 to Chabazinga of Busoga made the call while officiating at the second graduation ceremony of Gabula Royal Foundation, where 6,000 youths graduated in various business skilling projects. We do take a look.
His Majesty William Gabulana Diop IV E7 to Chabazinga called on the youth who graduated to train other youth from their respective areas in skills they have learnt so that they may create jobs and improve their income.
Simwino kulwe emirimu emirungi Gabula Royal Foundation ni Hills Youth Development Organization gye bakoze okusomesa abavubuka emirimu egy'emikono nga ni skilling eya kisoboka skilling program. Nongera okwebaza buli muntu mu kitiibwa kye abasobola okuwagira enteekateeka eno okuva lwe twagitandika. Neebaza abantu bange ab'omu kitundu kino olw'okutaawa embeera esobozeyisa abasomi okwega n'okukuguka mu mirimu egy'endawulo. Mwebale ino. Neebaza abasomesa n'ababayambyeku olw'emirimu egy'endawulo gye mukoze okutuuka ku lunaku olwaleero olufuuse olw'ensonga ye tuli.
The first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of East African Community Affairs, Rebecca Alitwara Kadaga, said that they are lobbying from government to provide power connections to villages, connect to water and tarmac roads as a way of developing these areas.
Ekinasigalira ife ku side ya gavumenti kubaletera bintu ebyetaaga nga amasannyalaze, kubaletera bintu nga maadhi, kukola ku nguudo zemunatayagaku okujja okola ebintu byaimwe n'ofuna obwidandabye. Ebyo bisigaire ewa gavumenti maybe n'okutaka okubasobozesa okufuna ebyuma byonakozesanga so okola ebirimu gyaimwe. Kubanga bwe twasomesa abaana b'e Kampala aba kapentwe bajja ab'ebirandi bajja nabyo abasalundi bajja n'ebintu abakapentwe bajja n'ebyaiwe. N'olwekyo Honorable Nakadama responsibility for to make sure nti ministry agenda eringa bara kubanga ife tukoze omulimo abaana basomi already. Please I can't with them somesa abaana bali skilled already. Ekisigari nakubanga batandika okola sente.
The third Prime Minister Rukia Isanga Nakadama urged graduates to implement skills they have learned through starting up businesses and employing others.
Yoza abasomi baife mwebala okusoma Mukama Katonda abatere mu enkabi era ndi kubasaba mwena abali eyo olunaku olwaleero nga mumaze okutuyikirwa enkofiira edo mwaviireyo n'obusomi nga buli muntu omusomo gw'asomye guli mu mutwe gwe. Kabiri ezirawundi ajja kikutoolako ekyo kirabo kye bakuwayire kyankalakalira. Nga bwe kiri kirabo kyankalakalira ndi kubasaba mujje mukozesa amagezi ago, mujje mutondewo emirimu, mukozese n'abantu abandi musobole okwetoola mu bwavu.
Patrick Byakatonda, the director of DIT, explained how important the Workers' Pass is to those engaging in different skills.
Workers' Pass is workers practically acquired skills. That one is for people who already have the skills. They have been tailoring maybe for 4 years or for 3 years or for 5 years, but they don't have any certification. So that one, we just orient you, we assess and certify you. Then you have a recognized certificate. And DIT, we are ISO certified.
Patrick adds that the skills gained by these students will help them on the job market.
We have already stated they can now proceed to level 1. And level 1, we shall assess them and certify them. That is our role. However, also our training provide them with employable skills. That is the entrepreneur, the whatever, they can start their own businesses. They can also, once they get formal certification, they can now get jobs in formal establishments.
The Workers' Practically Acquired Skills, all known as Workers' Pass, is a document that certifies the skills and competences of an individual for a particular occupation. The Workers' Pass outlines the expected skills and competence the holder can acquire in the occupation. Smart 24, Prime Edition.
And the Parliamentary Committee on Trade has detained the Uganda Beans Coffee Company secretary for not providing with the feasibility study documents needed by the committee after being given 2 hours to provide this. This was after denying to present it, saying that this document is a company private business, so it cannot be shown to the committee. Our reporter has the detail.
Information. As per this document, this information was given to the government. If you look at page 6.
Members of the Trade Committee, Company Secretary of Uganda Beans Coffee Company for the feasibility study documents. He therefore responded that it is a company business and is not supposed to be brought to the public domain, something that led to his detaining.
E. Order for the arrest and confinement of a recalcitrant witness for purpose of investigation by a competent authority or cite any person in contempt of Parliament. Now we need the feasibility study because the petitioners raised the need to look at this feasibility study. Probably the reason as to why they want to see it, they want to understand the basis. How did you arrive at this decision? Are you sure we have this coffee? And so much more in this feasibility study.
There's a bit of a mix-up. This being a private entity that has invested in the development of studies to assess the marketability of a product it wants to deal in. This is a private...
Clearly guided that the reason why they are here is to convince us that the agreement that is before this house, the petition that is before this house, is good for this country. And as representatives of this country, would want to see these documents. These people were aware that they were supposed to appear before this committee a week ago or so. Is it in order for him to continue arguing and refusing to listen and accept your ruling, Mr. Chairman? Is it?
In response to the members of the committee, they asked Honorable Mpaka Mwine, the chairperson Trade Committee, to direct him to produce this document or else should make a ruling or call for the CID interaction.
Conviction that the secretary does not want to give this information, or maybe he is not comfortable with the information, and maybe the information does not in any way benefit Ugandans. That's why he's trying to dodge around. So it is my suggestion, Honorable Chair, that if he really feels that the information he has cannot be brought to you and this committee, then we have no business dealing with them, I think.
Even part of this contract or whatever agreement, this is a document we must have to process the content of this agreement. So I will ask one more time before I make a ruling. Can you or can't you provide this document?
There are legal and commercial consequences to disclosing information of this kind. not just to the company, but also to the sector. I will submit to you, I'm sure you're already aware, that attempts have been made before to get someone with capacity to process coffee to come and do it here. And 9 times as a country we have failed. One of the reasons is the way we engage with the international market. We cannot do business while closing our eyes to the rules of business. If Coca-Cola had its...
asked the clerk to request the CID to come in. I don't see the problem with that. I have asked them to give us the rest of the information they have, and one of them can step out and bring this feasibility study. If they have not presented it within 2 hours, then we shall take the decision as per our rules of procedure.
After the 2 hours given to Matovu elapsed, he was asked whether he had got the document for the members but had nothing to present, and this made the chairperson to call for the committee CID to take action.
We gave you enough time. It is now 4:30. We have given you 2.5 hours to produce a feasibility study, and this is something we had mentioned earlier in the morning. So it is not something we will give you more time. We are going to request the CID to escort you, and they will know how to presentation. And he was here since morning. After we shall have presentation. And he was here since morning. After we shall have the Uganda Law Society.
The Committee of Trade has further asked for more documents that could help in the investigations of the...
Now, away from Parliament and the coffee industry, we get to Sorority, where Sorority is one of the districts that were approved for the city's status by the government. Now, a team of technocrats has visited the city to assess its 1-year progress. Fred Makubuya joins us from Sorority to give us an update on observation by the team.
I must report that I'm coming to you live from Sorority City. Of course, we know Sorority City is one of those cities that were approved by government in 2018. Of course, among the cities that were approved by 2018, we have Hoima as a city, we have Gulu as a city, of course we have Masaka, we have Mbarara, there's Entebbe, and of course not forgetting Fort Potro. And of course, Sorority is one of those other cities that were approved by government in 2018. And of course, the reason why we have decided, of course, to move along with the technocrats from the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development is, of course, to assess the performance of Sorority as a city for the last 1 year. Of course, as we are talking right now, it is almost coming to a year when Sorority became a city. What has been achieved, of course, what are the challenges, what are those business opportunities within the city, and what is making Sorority a unique city, of course, different from the rest of the other cities, is what we've been investigating today. I must report to you, Kevin, and of course our dear viewers, of course listening in and watching it from all over this country, that Sorority is one of those cities that we have identified, of course, that has its own uniqueness. And one of the things we have investigated, we have been able to travel through the different commercial areas. And of course, the reason why we could have been live from the commercial area, but because the market, of course, its duration, it works up to 8 in the evening. So it's a reason why hopefully we have not been able to come to you live from the commercial areas. But one of the things we have identified that is different from the rest of the other commercial areas is that Sorority has a unique market area. Of course, looking at its physical planning, looking at its foundation, looking at the aeration, looking at the different kind of business. Of course, the order, what we call the trade order within that market, is a very organized one. And of course, one of the reasons we have been pondering and asking ourselves is how did the city leaders be in position to control the vendors? Of course, if you come back to Kampala, one of the challenges that Kampala is facing is the regulation of vendors. But when it comes to Sorority as a city, of course, there are few vendors on streets, which to me is a very, very big challenge. And of course, one of the recommendations that have been put on board to the rest of the other cities is how best can we regulate business within the different other cities. One of the other fundamental areas where we've been keen on is the infrastructure. Of course, unlike other cities, most people have alluded to the fact that most cities were made cities and the people were not ready, of course, to receive the city status. And of course, according to the technocrats that we've been talking to throughout the day, they have alluded to the fact that the local leaders and of course the people at large have embraced the status or the status of city. And of course, that is exactly that is coming in from Sorority. I must let you know dear viewers, that of course will give you more other coverage regarding Sorority as a city. And of course tomorrow, I must indicate that the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, plus a team of other technocrats, will be again visiting another city, which is Mbale. And of course, the more of that report will be coming to you, of course, from the different places of this country. I want to, of course, dear viewers, hand you back over to plot 42 Nile Avenue, where we continue to drive you your business. Of course, over to you, Nandera.
Thank you so much, Fred. We hope that as you get back, you carry us something that really shows that you're coming from Sorority City. Now, away from that, police has warned Ugandans of a new wave of attack targeting mostly motorists after the principal judge, Dr. Flavian Zaija, was targeted by an improvised explosive device. Addressing journalists at the police headquarters in Naguru, the police spokesperson, Fred Enanga, explained circumstances under which the incident in which the principal judge's convoy was hit.
Kati ezo bomu bagiteze wano kumpi ndowooza olaba impact yayo esooka yeeno wano.
On Saturday, news circulated that the principal judge, Dr. Flavian Zaiji, was attacked by an unknown gunman along the Kampala-Masaka Road. The incident happened at Mitala Maria in Buwama Town Council, Masaka Road in Mpigi District. Addressing journalists at the police headquarters in Naguru, the police spokesperson Fred Enang explained that it was found out that the attack was done using an improvised explosive device which had been planted in a guardrail on the roadside.
In a convoy of 3 vehicles. The initial reports were indicating that the principal judge was attacked by a group of armed assailants who fired several bullets at his convoy. When it had reached Karandezi village in Mbuwama, that is in Mpigi district, the convoy, good enough, did not stop, but managed to drive straight to Mpigi Central Police Station, where a case was registered of attempted murder.
Enang therefore issued a warning to the public of a new wave of attack targeting mostly motorists after the principal judge.
I wish to further remind all members of the public that a threat environment still exists in the country which calls for vigilance. We have criminal elements who have perfected the construction and use of IEDs capable of destroying vehicles, facilities, installations, capable of incapacitating victims or even causing loss of lives. We are grateful that the principal judge and his team of escorts were not injured. We are also thankful to his security team for their swift action of not stopping, and instead they drove to the nearest police station. The lead car had minor damages due to metallic fragments scratching the body of the vehicle and this tarpaulin that covers the rear. And also the motor vehicle of the principal judge also had minor damages.
Enang explained that this was the second incident of such an attack in a period of less than 2 weeks when the vehicle were attacked using improvised explosive device. According to Enang, another man identified as Alex Kasasira was attacked in April 17th as he was moving around 9:30 p.m. around Noni in Luweero district between Masaka and Chinoni as he drove from Kampala to Kabale.
Established that this is the second such type of incident where IEDs are planted on the roadside to either injure, incapacitate or kill motorists. The first incident we occurred on the 17th of April 2022 at around 9:30 p.m. when one Busasira Alex, a businessman who was driving from Kampala to Kabale with his wife in motor vehicle registration number UBJ 399A. When they reached Changoma LC1, that is in Koni Parish, in Luengo district, that is along the Masaka-Chinoni section. They were hit by an explosion which was detonated.
He therefore notes that there is no evidence to show that the principal judge was the particular target, nor any government vehicle, saying that it was a random attack where he ensured the public that the perpetrators will be brought into book. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV.
Sad incidents coming in from there, but we do give a warning or advice to the people in the border business or industry to be very, very vigilant as you execute your duties. Now, away from that, Lieutenant General Muhoozi Kainerugaba has called upon government to invest in creative art in the sports industry as a way of helping the youth reap from their talent. He made the remarks at his birthday celebrations. We have a look.
According to the national budget for the financial year 2022-2023, under the Big 20 expenditure programs, Ministry of Education and Sports has been allocated 470.22 billion shillings, of which the sports share will have to be allocated to the National Council of distributed to different sports disciplines in the country. Lieutenant General Kainerugaba revealed that there is need to give serious attention to the youths so as to support their talent by funding these sectors because of their much exposure to the young generation in the country.
It's imperative that all of us in government or any position of leadership recognize this and start solving the problems of the youth and looking into their interests. They need is serious attention. How about youth? Since I'm very close to them, is that youth like two things mainly: sports and entertainment. We need to invest in sports facilities in this country. The youth have too much energy, so if you leave them idle, they become a problem. Let's invest in sports facilities. Let's rehabilitate our football stadiums. Expand. Let us expand and really give the youth what they want. Let's invest in music industry. The arts will be a long way in solving.
In line of support to the youth, General Muhoozi previously rendered support to the sports sector where he injected in 188 million shillings to the Federation of Uganda Basketball Association as payments to settle their hotel bills for the national team at the Silverbacks while at an African engagement in Rwanda. General Muhoozi was also at the forefront in funding the sports journalists governing body, Uganda Sports Press Association, by injecting in a sum of 30 million shillings into their circle. The figure released after Uganda Bureau of Standards robust the economy showed that the creative art industry grew by 30% in 2016-2017 compared to a decline of 2.4% that had been reported that year. This puts the contribution of the creative art industry at 141.5 billion shillings, equivalent 0.3% of the entire contribution of the services sector to Uganda's GDP, which implies that if the government invested more in these sectors, they would reap big considering the morale Ugandan youths have shown in this industry, hence boosting the economy. Ronana Hawe, Smart 24 TV.
A very happy belated birthday to the Lieutenant General from us this side. Now, away from the celebrations, the Uganda Prison, through its spokesperson, Frank Vine, has warned those using the name of the institution to extort money from people under the guise of requesting money contributions for dawa for prisoners in the custody. Frank made the remarks at a press conference.
Speaking to journalist Frank Baine, the Uganda Prisons spokesperson, warned those behind using the name of the institutions to extort people by requesting money contribution for dawa for prisoners in the custody.
I don't know whether some of you have become victims of this. This is an envelope being saturated in the different suburbs of Kampala by people claiming to be part of the prison system and collecting money for those prisoners who are fasting. If I may read, it is DAWA, Prisons Department, Uganda Prisons, PO Box 5272. The box number of Uganda Prison is 7182. With them they have put 5272. Telephone number 0755210174. Then they put the name and the like. When I tried to call the number, I think the person recognized my voice and switched off the phone. So please, don't contribute to this. These are conmen. They are just taking the advantage of the season to con you. I went ahead and put a press brief, but I made a press release, but I am not sure whether all of us saw it. So please, these are just fraudsters.
He explained that Uganda Prisons has not asked for any money contributions, that there are better procedures to be followed for donations to the prisoners during this holy month of Ramadan.
Procedure which we use for prisoners or prisons, but donations to prisons, and it's not this type of thing. So let's not fall victim to these so-called philanthropic conmen. The money they are collecting is for their own consumption, not in any way for prisons or prisoners. And I hope I will not get further calls about people who are asking whether the money has reached our side. This money cannot reach our side because those guys are just conmen. And women, actually there are many. Sometimes when you call, the woman picks the phone. When they realize, they switch off the phone. Others are working in people's offices dropping those envelopes. So please, let us be very careful. Two, I'm also here to urge my colleagues, the media. Sometimes we are falling victims.
Reports say that these are some of the ways that several people are being ripped off. Some of other ways include obtaining money by false pretense, altering false documents, and issuing of false checks, and many more. Those who take this path to achieve financial success call it working smart, and they are called conmen, locally referred to as Abafere. Frank Baine as well rubbished news that has been circulating all over social media that Matthew Kanyamunyu has died in cells. He says that Matthew Kanyamunyu is doing well serving his sentence.
Recently, a one called Kakwereje, East Sudan, posted that Kanyamunyu had died in prison. And when I was opening the different social media platforms, they were busy posting without even confirming whether it was true. Yet, Kanyamunyu had never been sick. He had not even expressed any slightest feeling of sickness. But they were here calling them dying. And if you look at the last word, Acholi Mwemusinga, you know, that is a tribal sentiment being pushed by some people who have their own intentions. So that's why when you see people speculating about people like the Kanyamunyus, the Romafas, the Segirinyas, the Sewanyanas, please, as a professional journalist, before you start setting this alarming information, because the public unsuspectingly trusts you as a person who has objective reporting qualities, first find out and communicate objectively. Now, when you start saturating this thing and it is false, it sends a very wrong message.
Matthew Kanyamunyu was pleaded guilty to the killing of the social worker, Kenneth Akena. This was after he entered into a plea bargain with the Director of Public Prosecutions to the charge of manslaughter in exchange of a lighter sentence. Bedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV.
I guess we need to engage ourselves in more productive activities to make ends meet other than engaging in criminality. Now, students from the Faculty of Business Administration and Management at Ndeje University have been skilled by practitioners from Capital Markets Authority in regards to investments, shares, debt securities, and stock exchange. We have a look at it.
Capital markets provide an arena in which investors look to invest, save funds in return for compensation, whereby they funnel their capital towards people and businesses who need the capital in order to expand, and this is the crux of how a capitalist and a market-based economy grows. Having come down from a lockdown that has been completely unprecedented, the economy is still trying to pick up with inflation pressures that are still too high. The Dean of Faculty of Business Administration and Management, Dr. Millie, noted that most Ugandans are ignorant about investments, yet it's one of the ways of securing money without losing its value.
We are ready to get information, the practical information from practitioners in the Capital Markets Authority. What Capital Markets Authority is doing is to educate the public about the investment opportunities, the securities market, the primary and the secondary markets, how we can invest, the unity trust for both lecturers, the staff, administrative staff, and to our students. And after getting this information, we expect also our students and even the staff to go out there and you preach the gospel of investment. You know, in Uganda, the investment rate is too low. And most of us, we are not even aware that we are supposed to invest. Remember, most of us, what we are doing is working today. You consume everything that you have worked for. So it is only work consumption. And we are talking of savings. Now after savings, what next? Now the investment. So we need to take investing in the securities market. You know, it is a sure risk-free. This is government.
Martin Owini, a practitioner in retirement benefits and an investment advisor from Capital Markets Authority, said that shares aren't the only thing sold at capital markets, but stocks and debt securities. Shares from familiar companies like MTN, Stanbic Bank and Uganda Clays are being sold on the stock exchange.
Markets, therefore, what happens there? Number one, remember what I told you. Money leaves your pocket and goes to the company to do what? To purchase a unit of capital. Now, another name for money is capital. Now, if money is leaving your pocket and it's going to the capital markets to buy shares in MTN, you are actually giving MTN money. They didn't have that money. You have given it to MTN. Okay? Now, if I've given MTN money, what is therefore happening at the capital markets? It's the market where companies go to raise capital. Are we together? It's the market where companies go to raise capital. How do they raise capital? They sell shares. Okay? Are shares the only thing sold at the capital markets? No. There are other products, and I'm going to take you into some of those products. But these are some of the shares that are there on the capital markets. And names that you know: MTN, Stanbic Bank, Uganda Clays, BAT, New Vision, Umeme. All of these are actually at the capital markets. Why would I want a share? Buy at a low price, sell at a high price. Number two, when you're dividing your profit, give me some of your profit. Therefore, you as a student, what is your task? Your task is to identify, if I had 20K, where would I put it? In which share would I put it? Okay? And why would I put it there? One thing with shares is the price goes up and the price goes down.
Kakande Joseph, a third-year student of procurement and logistics, said the workshop gave him clarity on issues concerning stocks, shares, and treasury bills. Rona Nahabwe, Smart 24 TV.
Today I paid so much attention to real know and get deep. Good enough the facilitators that have facilitated us today have tried to explain a lot and go deep into details. They have taught us how you can get shares through the stock brokers. We've gotten to know different stock brokers. They are even opening accounts today, both online and offline. But my major concern, because during the facilitation I asked a question. I was like, how much do you need to start, for how long, when do you expect to get returns from this gain from it, because they were trying to explain to us how you can let your money work for you, because you put it there. Especially my interest was in unit trust and treasury bills, because according to the facilitator, he said treasury bills have a less risk since they are directly connected with the government, and you get a confirmed interest after a given period of time.
Now we do tap into the sports world, where Rwanda Premier League side AS Kigali have parted ways with Ugandan coach Mike Mutebi just after 85 days in charge. The former Maroons SC Villa and KCCA coach's sacking came in the aftermath of a 1-0 defeat to Rayon Sport, which was a third loss since he took charge.
Aliko mtendesi wa KCCA kakati abadde atendeka AS Kigali Mike Mutebi agobeddwa oluvannyuma lw'ennaku 85 ng'ali mu butendesi. Mike Mutebi ng'ono yatendekako Maroons, Sports Club Villa ne KCCA mwe yasinga okuwangula ebikopo ebingi, abadde yakegatta ku ttiimu eno era nga waagobeddwa nga baakamala okukubibwa ttiimu ya Rayon Sport goal emu ku bwereere, nga eno ebadde loosi ya kusatu bukyakwata mu mitambo gya ttiimu eno. Mutebi abadde yakatendeka empiira 13 kwejo awanguddeko 3.
And that wraps up our bulletin tonight. We do appreciate you for joining us and being with us, keeping it smart at 24 TV. You can get us on our social media platforms as well, on our Facebook page, Smart 24 TV, or in our YouTube channel, Smart 24 TV. I'm Kevin Andera. A blessed night.
Smart 24, driving business.
Blue magic is my joy. Blue magic, Talaba kumabala atukuza nonyirirawo kirako enyange tayisa bubi fabriki kyonna kyekiri kigwa lwa blue magic is my choice. Ono blue magic ye wange and blue magic is my choice. Hey, ono blue magic ye wange.
Chinayu chinyumira whether it is Katogo, Chikomando, Rolex Majasa to Nyambisi. Man, wherever I am, I enjoy Chinayu with your TV channels on my phone.
Enjoy a new world of entertainment with over 80 TV and radio channels, plus movies from wherever you are. Download the Yo TV Channels app from your app store and enjoy 30 days of free streaming with MTN.
Yo TV Channels, the power is in your hands.
Football packages, great entertainment,
Sports, the local content, telenovela, the movies. There is something for everybody. Go TV, this is where the stories live.
Get the best entertainment for any budget. With GoTV, you will have great entertainment for as little as 13,000 Uganda shillings per month. GoTV, great stories. Zidiwano, GoTV Uganda. Love it.
shashurira esimu y'ekirooto kyawe mpora mpora yitungire esimu y'ekirooto kyawe eriizooba aha sente nkye okutandikira aha 14 na data y'omwaka gwona yabusha rero oshashure mpora mpora noshashurira omwaka gumwe nizishanga omu MTN Service Centers n'omu maduuka ga M-Kopa.
We go through life hustling, doing different jobs to make ends meet. No matter how strong you are, age will eventually catch up with you. Your hope of a comfortable retirement is saving for old age while you still have energy to work. Uganda Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority, the regulator of all licensed retirement benefit schemes, UBRA, encourages you to choose from any of the licensed schemes and start saving, whether employed or self-employed, to avoid regret during your old age. For more information, call 0417-304-500. This message is brought to you by Uganda Retirement Benefits Regulatory Authority.
And Body Dating when you invest with Britain's unit trusts. Are you saving up for a car, school fees, a wedding, a house, or more enjoyments on that holiday? Whatever your investment goal is, Britain's asset managers have you covered. Open a Britam Unit Trust Fund account today, start your investment journey, and enjoy accrued interest on your investment. Buri Dede. That's right, every day. Professional investment management from our money magicians. Easy withdrawal of your funds within less than a week. All you need is a minimum investment of a polite 100k and a minimum top-up of 50k whenever that extra money checks in to grow your savings. Call us today on 0312-305-600 or send an email to clientservicesug@britam.com to get started. Britam Asset Managers is regulated by the Capital Markets Authority. Terms and conditions apply. Britam, with you every step of the way.
Making a name for myself was not easy. At every turn, I faced rejection. There were days when I thought my dreams would just be dreams. People always told me, you cannot become anything if you don't have money. But I do not agree. You see, I believe that big things have small beginnings. And I had something you can't buy with all the money in the world. Ambition. So thank you for believing in me, for holding me up when I couldn't stand alone, for cheering me on when I swung for the fences, for protecting my dreams so that one day they can become a reality, for always supporting my future. Thanks to you, I've achieved every dream I had. The future is possible when you ensure it. Get the ICEA Total Education Plan today. Call us toll-free on 0800 100 120.
Smart 24, driving business.